The past updates on the manga had been very stressful for Sett and Nina's fans because the ship might be shifting to Azure's side. The recent manga chapters and some Reddit posts got me thinking, and I'm starting to believe that maybe Nina is going to end up with Azure. However, the mangaka isn't really done playing with our feelings, so I believe anything is possible. But with the way things are going with the Beast God and everything, I'm having a bad feeling about this. Firstly, if you don't know what I'm talking about, do watch this video. Secondly, let's take a look at the story. Chapter 62 was another chapter of Toad being Toad. It gives us a little backstory about Hikami and how he was the fourth son of the king who erased the star people and how he grew up with the dancers after that. We also saw how not just Nina but others have also asked him to just live his life because he's always been ready to sacrifice himself. Plus Hikami is deeply tied to Lindorm's dark past, making him both a product and a prisoner of the story. And then there is also the fact that this little star person met him when he was a child. So I guess he's going to play an important role later in the story. For now, he's just teaming up with one of the twins to save his found family. And we also got to know that the Beast God envied the Star Goddess to the point of obsession, as they were born twins, but the Star Princess was closer to the gods. She was nourished by the prayers of many people, so she was stronger. But the Beast God was closer to the humans. It barely had any power and couldn't even maintain its own body. However, now he's back and he wants revenge, because the Star Goddess had ended the age of gods for the sake of mankind, and he's probably going to kill a lot of people on the way to his goal, which Azure believe is to take Nina's power. To do what exactly? We don't know that yet, but it's probably something very evil. And Azure already got to know about this. That's why he'd been so distant from Nina, and that's also the reason why he banished her and everything. While Sett is ready to just win the war so he can go back to Nina. Now, I really can't say who the endgame will be, as both men fell in love with Nina in their own ways, both have shaped who she becomes, and both have given her support and care in their own ways. But in the end, Nina can only choose one, right? Azure is the first man Nina gets to know about after taken away from the street. At first, he seemed cold. He gives Nina everything: food, shelter, fine clothes, education, but he stays distant. His emotions are hidden behind a calm mask. However, he watches her closely, he teaches her to read, speak properly, and walk like a royal, until Nina begins to admire his strength and his quiet kindness. Their bond grows slowly, and Azure becomes protective of her, to the point of not wanting to send her away to marry the future king of Calcutta. And Nina too starts to fall for him. Now, Azure doesn't really show his love directly, but he proves it in small ways, like covering her with cloaks, stepping in when others insult her, protecting her when she's in danger, accepting and still loving her even after she denies going back home with him. But he does get a little confused with his emotions after finding out about her powers, though he says that it was because of him. But when Nina's true identity was at risk, Azure does something that breaks her heart. He sends her away, something that a lot of fans can forget, because Nina suffered a lot because of this. Many fans believe that this was a selfless move. If the truth was revealed, Nina could have been killed, and the fact that he knew of the Beast God and Alicia's plan to take Nina's power and use her as a vessel. So Azure, bounded by duty, chose to protect her in the only way he could, by pushing her away. Others argue that he chooses throne over love, that his action, though logical, were still abandonment. Still, I accept that Azure represents Nina's past. He introduced her to politics, power, and fear, and because of him, Nina felt a lot of different emotions for the first time, like jealousy, longing, pain, disappointment, betrayal, and of course, love. He's like her moon as shown in this illustration, and their love is more or less like winter, quite heavy and full of longing. She wants to find him, she wants to understand him, and she wants to save him like he had saved her. On the other hand, Sett appeared much later in the story. He's expressive and passionate, and we know that Nina wanted to get along with Sett for Azure's sake. That's why when she met him and he pushes her down, she just chose to get up and be herself again. Clever, sarcastic, and strong. And slowly, Sett falls for that version of her. In this relationship, Nina is the one who found him, and she is his first longing, betrayal, misunderstanding, and his first love. And from the beginning, Sett notices her strength, intelligence, and independence. intentions. He flirts with her, but he also listens to her. He's the only man who calls her by her real name and not Princess Alicia every single time. He's the type of person who'd follow her into dangerous places. He'd protect her without making her feel weak. He argues with her, jokes with her, and above all, he trusts her blindly. That is after he went through character development though. But still, like Azure, he too had his flaws. But where Azure pushes Nina away, he chooses to stay by her side, even when he's lost in his own mind. So in a way, Sett represents freedom, fire, and passion. With him, Nina laughs more, fights more, and grows more because he considers her as his equal. He taught her how to believe in herself, how to take action, and how to start living again. Their love is like the summer, bright, intense, and full of energy, though with the chances of getting hurt being a little too high. Some fans believe that Sett's love gave Nina the space to become her full self. On Reddit, someone wrote, Azure gives her a life, but Sett gives her freedom. Now, I don't know how I feel about this, but I do believe that Nina will be more free when she is with Sett. Azure would probably just scold her like he always does. So far, her smile, laughs, and most emotional moments have happened with Sett, but she still remembers Azure and the way he changed her life, and it's one of the reasons to why I think that Nina is going to end up with Azure. The other thing I want to point out in the recent chapters is the fact that Nina was going back into the cave where the gods were sleeping, and not everyone can enter that place. Only a star person or a person with a certain stone can enter it, the stone which Azure already have. So he can easily meet her there again, but this time Sett won't be there. But if the beast god took over him completely, that too is going to mess up. Next is the fact that Nina too wants to find him and stop him, because she can't imagine him being a mean person who'd start war. But the war will happen, as Alicia had shown Nina. And that little star person also confirms it, saying that the people will get hurt and that there will be chaos in the land. So that much is final. But we still don't know why Azure wants to fight, or why the king of Galgada wants to conquer Fortuna so badly. But there are these panels in chapter 63 that shows Soul thinking about this exact same thing, as he orders people to dig up an altar, and surprisingly, they unpack a dead body from there, who would probably be decades old. Soul does something to it, and before we saw what happens, they changed the scene. So I'm guessing in the upcoming chapters, we'll finally get to know about these two kingdoms. Right, back to why I think Nina would choose Azure. Disclaimer, it's just an opinion / far-stretched overthinking. The way Sett is longing for Nina so much scares me, because I think the author will do something mean to them. I mean, the war will happen, right? Everyone is ready for it. So I'm guessing that he's either going to hurt pretty badly, or someone who he is closer to will get hurt instead. His aunt, aka the king of Calcutta, or maybe Soul, or something else will happen. Either way, I think he won't be able to meet Nina, and after his loss, he'll realize that he needs to step up. Like Soul said, he needs to have other motivations. And I believe by the end we'll see him actually taking a 180-degree turn and being kind to his people, ruling over them justly, or he'll just sacrifice himself for his love. As for Azure and Nina, I think they're going to get married. I mean, he had promised to live with her already, but they'd probably reach the goal after a long time. Like right now, the beast would take up Azure's body, and when he will finally meet Nina, somehow she's going to know instantly that it's not her Azure. And of course, she will decide to fight for him. She would probably fight the beast god to set Azure free, and would somehow actually succeed in doing that. Then they'd either leave Fortuna, if Azure's patriotism allows it, and live happily under the stars, or rule over Fortuna. But I can't say anything for sure. It's probably just my overthinking. Lastly, I think I did miss some points, but I hope you got what I was trying to say. Also, this month's chapter was delayed till May, so we're gonna have to wait a half month for the next update. So that was all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to me. Take care of yourself and goodbye.
All the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change.